Hey guys, Mike here and welcome back to the channel. So we're still in lockdown here in New Zealand. Well, to be accurate, Auckland is still in lockdown, but the rest of the country is pretty much back to normal or close to it. Anyway, I'll go for a run early morning and then a walk in the late afternoon, and I've been taking a few pictures, so I thought I'd share them with you. So I'll flick through them on the laptop. So let's get into it. So before I headed off for my walk, there always seems to be some sort of shenanigans going around this area, and there was a bit of a kerfuffle going on in the corner just around from the apartment, and police were involved. Lots of people gathered. They eventually left, and then the police sort of tidied things up. No one was hurt, but there's a lot of shouting and pushing and that sort of thing going on. So that was when I decided to take off for my walk. We had a bit of a windy night the night before, so a few billboards and signs and placards and things were blown over. I came across this pylon. I just kind of liked the colours that were sort of hitting it, so went across, stood underneath it, and looked up. Felt a bit weird actually. Wasn't sort of sure whether I was allowed to be underneath it, but nothing was stopping me. But you do sort of wonder about the power and stuff coming from these things, so didn't hang around there too long. Just kept on going with my walk. Went past a few areas, just sort of saw the sun coming through the trees, and I just thought, well, looked quite nice. Then there's this one of a plane. I was a little bit slow getting the focus sorted, missed the shot that I wanted to get, but I was able to get it as it went through these trees. And I just like taking pictures of planes. It kind of reminds me of what I used to do with my job. I used to travel lots and lots and lots, but it's been almost 2 years since I've been on a plane now, so hopefully not too much longer. Speaking of trees, this sort of bunch of trees is in the middle of an urban area. It sort of doesn't quite fit, but it was kind of nice. I like trees and like nature and all that sort of thing, so it was just nice to take some pictures of the tall trees. I went past a whole bunch of businesses. I saw this flag and I thought, it just kind of annoyed me because like it's the New Zealand flag, we should be super proud of it, and yet here's this business, like get a new flag for goodness sake. I mean, just sort it out. Then all these birds sitting on top of this building. I don't know, I just kind of like the blue and the orange of the building and just all the birds hanging out there. On the walk, and I've done it so many times now, you see a lot of birds and there's really not that much else to look at. So here's one of a duck and their ducklings. It's sort of, as an aside, it's been a while since I played golf. And I used to love playing golf at this time of the year as well, because obviously it's when the ducklings come out, and on this course that I play on, there's always heaps of ducks, and there's heaps of little ducklings around, and it's just kind of cute. In that area where there's those tall trees, there's this sort of flower. It just sort of standing out from everything else, and I just sort of thought, well, just take a picture of it. And with this one, there's an area where a lot of the birds gather, and ducks, obviously. These ducks took off, and I just fired a whole lot of shots, and was pretty happy that I'd managed to get one. So you chuck something like that on Instagram, people go, wow, that's an amazing shot, you're such a good photographer. Well, no, I just had it on high speed and I fired off about 120 shots, and one of them worked. And then there's our friends the pūkekos, who hang around this area. And again, the thing I like about this shot is that the pūkeko's in focus, but the foreground isn't, kind of arty. And then there's a whole bunch of welcome swallows circling me, and this was the first failed attempt, but then again took about 80, 100 others and managed to get this. Now the interesting thing about this one is when you sort of zoom in and have a look, it kind of looks like a painting. It kind of looks not real. Now, the bird itself was slightly underexposed when I took the picture, and so in Lightroom I was able to bring up the shadows, but as I bring up the shadows, it brought out more grain and more noise in the photo as well. So, from a distance, it actually kind of looks like a painting to me anyway. And then to finish off, there's a couple of little like gullies and waterfalls and that. So I experimented with some long exposure shots, and this one was, the shutter was only open for, it was still relatively fast, it was like a quarter of a second or something like that. and I was able to get that blurred effect. And then around the corner from that, I took this one, which I'm super stoked with, and actually this one was taken with my iPhone, and I used the live photo setting, and then you can go in and choose the long exposure option, and as long as you're not moving the camera at all the bits that aren't moving stay in perfect focus, and then the bits that are moving blur out. So really happy with that photo. And that's it. Thanks for watching with me, guys. It's a bit of a departure from my normal videos, but if you stuck with me this long, I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more photos, lockdown edition style, be sure to check out the video on screen now. Take care, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.